Ladies and gentlemen, meine Damen und Herren, welcome back to the European Nations Cup. Here we are for the first final of this event, 9th and 10th place, Germany against Scotland. Here for you the referees, the center referee, Niels Christian Simonsen, the assistant referee, Steve Crump, the second referee, Robbie Byrne, the fourth official, Nordin Sobowitz. And the teams for Germany, number 8, the captain, Marco Rollmann. Number 2, Luise Mittag. Number 7, Felicitas Fischer. Number 9, Efekan Onamnes. Number 11, Thais Otterstetter. Number 14, Acacio Cossa. Number 20, Ludwig Leinweber. Number 55, Daniel Oleg. And the head coach, Nuri Onamnes. And his assistants, Kai Rollmann, Arnold Leinweber, Thomas Mittag, and the team manager, Jörg Diel. And for the Scottish team, with number 4, the captain, Ethan Galloway. Number 3, Conor McCall. Number 7, Andrew Shaw. Number 9, Tyler McClelland. Number 10, Keen Speed. Number 11, Kieran Burns. Number 17, Kieran Steer. And the head coach, Ryan Alexander. And his assistants, Stephen Miller, Andrew Reben, and Ryan Galloway. And now, the anthems for you guys. Let's go! Good luck with both teams. Have fun. I'm heading over to Ryan and Greg at the streaming. See you guys.
Good evening and welcome to the final match of day 5 here at the 2025 EPFA Nations Cup, and it's Germany against Scotland with 9th and 10th place on the line. It may not carry the same stakes as the semi-finals or the 5th place playoff, but for those two sides, it's a chance to finish their campaign on a high and take something positive back home. Germany's journey in this competition has been a challenging one, drawn into a tough group alongside the likes of France, Belgium and Northern Ireland. They've found themselves under pressure from the very first whistle, despite showing flashes of promise, particularly through players like T.S. Otterstetter and Marco Roman. They've struggled to convert chances into goals. A late defeat to Spain ended their hopes of climbing higher in the standings, and so now this playoff is about breaking that run, finding their first win and showing what they're capable of. For Scotland, the journey has been similar in Group B. They were competitive, often battling hard and making life difficult for their opponents, but results just didn't fall their way. A narrow 1-0 loss to Denmark and a spirited performance against Italy highlighted just how small the margins can be at this level. Tyler McClelland's energy has caught the eye, but the consistency and sharpness in front of goal have been missing. Today offers them a final chance to right that wrong. Both teams then arrive here with something to prove. For Germany, it's about finally turning possession and territory into results. For Scotland, it's about turning brave performances into a win that reflects their efforts. The prize isn't progression or qualification, but pride, avoiding bottom spot and carrying momentum into future competitions.
Yeah, two teams who haven't had it their own way at all in this tournament so far. Scotland in that group of death almost, Group B, really have shown some defensive resilience from open play. It's their set pieces and their discipline that have let them down. For Germany, I'd like to see a lot more team play, players on the same hymn sheet, playing football with some passing rather than trying to dribble through the opponents. They've had some moments of quality. They've had moments where their quality in front of goal has let them down. One thing that I think you can be really proud of these two nations is you have just heard your national anthem at a major tournament for the very first time. I must admit, I nearly got a bit choked up during Flower of Scotland.
They've certainly set the standard. We did have national anthems for the first game, the opener between Italy and Denmark. We will now, of course, observe them for each of the last games across this and tomorrow. And absolutely, the bar has been set. And it was incredibly passionate as Scotland look for their first success, their first goals of the competition. We are scheduled for a kickoff in around 11 minutes time, so an opportunity for these two to just fine-tune their warm-ups. Let's go through the squads, starting with Germany. In goal, it will be Daniel Olek, the number 55. In the centre and captain, number 8, Marco Roman, with wingers of number 9, F.A. Kano Nanmis, and number 20, Ludwig Leinweber. Their substitute, number 2, Lewis Mittag, number 7, Feli Fischer, number 11, Thiers Otterstetter, and number 14, Akashi Okosa. And for Scotland, they have tested, they have trialled, still trying to find out the winning formula. In goal, it will be Tyler McClelland, the number 9. In the centre, I very much suspect it will be number 17, Kieran Steer. Out wide, number 3, Connor McCall gets his second successive start. and number 4 and captain Ethan Galloway. Substitutes: number 7 Andrew Shaw, number 10 Kian Speed, number 11 Kieran Burns, and number 23 Robbie Martin. You would say, having assessed their performances both as a collective and individually, the best starting 4 they've begun with?
I've just applauded you reading out that starting 4 because I think that is Scotland's best starting 4. Certainly from individual performances across this tournament. Conor McCall didn't feature in the opening 1.5 games. Came on and impressed. Has now earned, as you say, his second consecutive start. He's been really bright, really lively. I like the combination of Kieran Steer and Tyler McClelland in the middle. Of course, they'll be familiar with the roles they're about to play, having done so all season for Lothian Wolves together. And Ethan Galloway, the skipper, has English Premiership experience with Middlesbrough. I'm really excited to see how this 4 for Scotland can perform.
These two earned qualification to the Nations Cup during the EPFA Cup in 2022, which was held in Geneva, Switzerland. And they had 2 meetings across that competition. Once in the group stage, whereby Scotland were 4-1 victors. Kieran Burns actually with a hat-trick in that one, who's on the bench at present. And then they met again in the semi-finals. Scotland once again having the better with a 2-0 scoreline on that occasion. So they do have bragging rights over the Germans. Whilst it wasn't a major competition, it was incredibly significant as their first proper one on the international stage. Both have seen the likes of Spain and Italy, and Belgium for that matter, surpass them in the last few years. So they need to have a bright finish and then really work on their development away from the spotlight to ensure when future competitions come around, they are more competitive and still in contention. That said, Scotland have been so close to upsetting the odds in Group B. Beyond that 6-0 defeat to England, they have been incredibly competitive and will feel the point accumulation has been cruel, but they just haven't threatened in front of goal, and that is something that has to change here.
We've said it before. I think the main thing for us when coming to these tournaments is you want every team to leave with a moment that says, okay, we can take that. These are the final 2 teams yet to score a goal across this competition. I really hope, for their sake, for their friends and families, they both score in this game so that they can have that moment to cheer and celebrate and be joyous. And you know that now I've said that, we are in for a 0-0.
It is an exciting Scotland lineup and an attacking one at that. Does that manifest in a way that allows them to score? Because the same stat and fact can be applied to the Germans. They are yet to see a goal go over the opponent's goal line. So probably an objective of theirs as well. But the atmosphere, despite the fact there is nothing really on the line but pride, is still brilliant. As a whole, the atmosphere here today in Lignano Sabbia d'Oro has been amazing. If you hadn't tuned in to either one of the semi-final, we referenced the noise and how many people received notifications on smartwatches and phones as to the level of fan support. 98 decibels we reached at one stage, which is akin to a rock concert. It's unlike anything I have ever experienced before, And I think this venue in particular, this sports hall, has fantastic acoustics. So no matter where you're standing or sitting, you can feel the atmosphere which fuels these players on.
You really can. I think we've seen it throughout the competition from every single set of supporters. Just the atmosphere and how much it can lift the team and drive them forward. I think it's played a huge part in Italy's incredible run to the semi-finals. Just that passion and feeling that support from the stands really drives you on from as a player. You know, when you can sometimes feel something slipping away, or you can feel a lack of energy, you know, a big moment or a big block and then a big cheer from the crowd could just renew that and help you get like a second wind.
Just to go through today's results in full. In the morning fixture, Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland played out a fiery derby that went all the way to penalties. Northern Ireland held their nerve to keep their World Cup dream alive. Denmark followed with a 2-0 victory over the Spanish, booking their spot in the 5th place playoff. And then France, as they so often do, lit up this court with some of the most remarkable passages of plays and goals you're ever likely to score. They were victors 5-0 over host Italy, and then just prior to this, England were taken all the way to extra time by Belgium, but eventually a moment of magic via yet another England set piece, or Dylan Kelsall cushion the ball over the Belgian line to book England's spot and dance with France. So what was the final in 2014, 2019 and 2023, referencing 3 major competitions, will be repeated in 2025. Is it repeat or is it revenge?
We'll find out tomorrow. 4:30 Central European Standard Time, that final tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll go through the full schedule. So it will be the Republic of Ireland versus Spain, kicking things off at 9:45. At 12, the big one, Northern Ireland versus Denmark for the final World Cup ticket. 3rd and 4th place playoff. We'll see Italy and Belgium, which promises to be a really great game. And then, as you mentioned, Greg, 4:30, France versus England. And that will be followed by the closing ceremony. We are truly in the business end of this competition, and what a competition it has been. For me personally, the best I've ever experienced. From venue to atmosphere to football itself, it has exceeded all metrics and expectations. And let's hope Germany and Scotland can end their respective campaigns on a high.
I really hope so. I really hope so. I think Scotland will want to do, they both want to do themselves proud. Scotland, a proud nation. They've come here missing key players who are, I'm sure, will be looking down on them in this final game, hoping they can get one over the line.
Yeah, we've spoken about the sad passing of Logan Mitchelson and Colin Shields, 2 players that were central to their qualification in the first place. Added to that, the passings of James Doyle and Ben Hetherington. It has been an incredibly challenging and trying couple of years. And can they channel that and be incredibly proud come the conclusion of this, as Marco Rollman looks to exchange some passes with Ludwig Leinweber in the opening exchanges. Tyler McClellan, who was so good in the centre yesterday against Italy, trying to create. Conor McCall needs to stay in reverse there. It's something we highlighted yesterday.
It's nearly a fantastic pass from Kieran Steer, though. Rollman gets past McClelland. Leinweber keeps it in for McClelland. That deflects off of the Scotland goalkeeper and out for the Germany kick-in.
There's obviously a very fluid understanding, as you've already referenced, between Kieran Steer and Tyler McClellan, because Kieran Steer, I think, is the main central player, but don't be surprised if Tyler McClellan advances forward and Kieran Steer drops back. It's very much kind of a yo-yo pivot. As long as each other know the other's role and responsibility, that will be a good asset that they've got in terms of unpredictability and the different skill sets being utilised, as Kieran Steer drops back. Again, I'd like to see Ethan Galloway stay in reverse there. That's 2 in as many minutes. In terms of opting to drive onto it, it completely limits your opportunities. And you're seeing why there. Conor McCall can engage it with the front bumper, can look to get it into the 180 reverse. But this is positive from Scotland. Daniel Oleg very telegraphed as to his intentions to Ludwig Leinweber. Leinweber contact with Kieran Steer. I hadn't mentioned the referees already. In the centre, Niels Christensen Simonsen, Steve Crump and Robbie Byrne complimented him. The fourth official is Nordin Subovic. Steer down to McCall. Ethan Galloway just wasn't in a position to capitalise. It's the right option for McCall, but it needs that anticipation and readiness from the captain if they're going to advance up the court.
Oleg into Rollman. Tries to touch it down the line to Onambis. Onambis gets away from Galloway. Met by McClelland.
Better combinations from Germany. Marco Rollman just needed to put a little bit more power on that. There's still going to be an opportunity, but an assured clearance from Tyler McClellan. Had he not made it, Ludwig Leinweber would have had almost a clear goal-scoring opportunity. But I do want to see Marco Rollman be a little bit more consistent with that power and passing. Pick off from Conor McCall. Surely a 2-on-1. That's unfortunate for Scotland.
Aggressive from Germany. Daniel Oleg taking this free kick.
Yeah, responsibility pass to Marco Rollman. Once again, Conor McCall trying to break up that connection between Ludwig Leinweber and Marco Rollman. There is options on the bench for Germany, some that have been really bright. Cassio Cossa and Tiege Otterstetter particularly, the latter having some really good opportunities in Germany's game against Spain. Kieran Steer to take, this is a brave approach. All 4 players in the Germany half, they have to be careful of opportunities like that. That's going to be of no real danger to Tyler McClelland. But I like it. They're being brave. They're looking to attack and create those overloads in attack, which is something they haven't done in the competition thus far, but you can almost understand it. You've already referenced it, a group of death almost. Denmark, the Republic of Ireland, England. These are World Cup nations. Of course, Denmark still have to fight for that status tomorrow. As Kieran Steer into Conor McCall, that's really nice. Ethan Galloway engages just wide as Daniel Olek reverses forcefully into his captain to ensure that there was no gap.
Daniel Olek has just wiped Marco Roman out. I don't think Marco Roman's going to be thankful for that one in the morning. Olek needs this to be accurate.
Intercepted by Tyler McClellan. This is that fluidity we referenced. It's flicked to Ethan Galloway, who's not quick enough to react. And now he's created an opening. Daniel Olek, I'd love to see him go out to Fekano Nanmis there. He was in so much space on the alternate wing. He gets possession now, but Kieran Steer well positioned in that passing channel. It's just the decision making that's letting them down. Surely a 2-on-1 in favour of Scotland. Advantage clearly being played as Ethan Galloway has a little bit of space there, but doesn't make Ludwig Leinweber pay.
Out of play for a Germany kick in. Daniel Olek to take. Into Roman, touched to Leinweber.
McClelland into Galloway. That's slightly forced from the captain. It was never going to get through the German bumpers. Maybe look for a pass or try and fire it off for a corner. Kieran Steer now up into Tyler McClellan. Thought he might engage it in the 180 there. Disappointed, but Kieran Steer really well positioned there. That's always something you've spoken about the gated nature of a 4-out, and you need to have a little bit of depth between yourself and your pivot pairing, and on that occasion Kieran Steer did brilliantly to ensure that any sort of threat from Germany was nullified immediately.
Yeah, you really want to make sure that there's no gap between you and your middle players. Ethan Galloway comes back to just mop up and play it off Leinweber. Yeah, don't get gated, drop off, make sure that front pivot pushes forward. As Marco Roman takes this ball, met by Tyler McClelland, flick to Leinweber, back to Roman. Leinweber, this is better from Germany.
Yeah, very much so. Putting those triangles together. That, likewise for Marco Roman. That's 6 or 7 really nice, crisp, consecutive passes. Eventually broken up by Galloway. But that's what Germany need to do. Get the combinations going if they're going to have success. It's a really good game, as a matter of fact. It's cagey, it's tense, but there's moments of quality within both teams that they've been able to exhibit in their 4 group games. They're clearly showing developments even within this competition as it progresses, let alone what they need to do away from this top table. Good interception from Kieran Steer, well up the court, and they'll look to condense with this high press. They just need that positional flexibility and discipline. They don't want to give away needless 2-on-1s.
Marco Roman. And then miss.
You can see the intention of Marco Roman. We will soon observe the midway water break. On reflection, you'd probably say Scotland the happier of the two, but Germany starting to grow into this game. The nerves have settled and they're getting their passes going. There's a lot of space for Ludwig Leinweber to drive into, which calls Tyler McClelland into defensive duties.
Yeah, a lot of space indeed. This will probably be the last action. In fact, that will be the water break now. A chance for both managers to get some instructions into their players. I imagine Scotland will be the happier as we see a change in goalkeeper for Germany, it looks like here, Ryan. And Daniel Olek is being...
We've been calling for Daniel Olek to feature as a winger. We know him as a winger. We're not too familiar with how he plays his football at domestic level in Germany.
I think they're just changing the colour of the shirt because it's clashing with Scotland's dark colours.
That would make sense. Disappointed that wasn't picked up before. But the point still stands. He shows real dynamism and anticipation on the wings. If you reference the EPFA Cup 2022 and the EPFA Four Nations 2023, well, we had the pleasure to commentate and watch 4 top European nations vie it out in almost like a friendly competition. He was exclusively a winger in that as well. So it's obviously been a shift in his game over the last 2 years, which has meant that Germany have had to alter things. I've always known it to be a central pairing of Acacio Costa and Marco Roman, Daniel Olek on one wing, and a player I really like, Ludwig Leinweber, on the other.
Yeah, we'd like to see them mix it up. Ryan, you can add another country to the Red Foxdrum list. Scotland have taken the drum of the Belgians and thrown a flag over it.
Yeah.
Trying to match the...
That's absolutely fine. As long as you're ensuring that noise, that atmosphere that we know these players feed off. Roman. Efekano Namis has been very isolated. He's had little pockets. Same can be applied to Conor McCall, who's the high and wide winger. Certainly when you're referencing that third defender for Scotland, it's typically Ethan Galloway. Conor McCall now with some rare involvement. It's Efekano Namis. That's really nice to just feint Kieran Steer into the centre. Cleared only as far as Ethan Galloway, who's going to attempt an effort off the front of Marco Roman, and it kissed the side of Galloway's chair out for a Germany ball.
Oh, it's brilliant from Marco Roman. Allows it to go all the way over to Anamis. The front bumper worked. And Leinweber just needed to touch that round McClelland, and he would have been able to drive it into an open Scotland goal.
Marco Roman into Ludwig Leinweber. They haven't been effective at all at set pieces, Germany. Any and all success they have had has been on the counter-attack when they can expand the core. And there is a breakaway. Conor McCall guides it, Goulburn. It's blocked by the back of Daniel Olek's chair. Again, you question whether Conor McCall needs to stay in reverse and engage that in a rotated finish as opposed to the front bumper.
Absolutely, Ryan. I'm having to move my microphone closer because I can't hear myself. McClelland, 3 in the box. Sloppy from Germany. Again, it's their discipline, Ryan, that's gifting opposition chances and set pieces.
Yeah, and this is a very credible opportunity for them to score. It's going to be taken by Kieran Steer. It's incredibly loud here. I've got Kieran Steer cleared by Marco Roman, followed up by Tyler McClelland. Own it to Conor McCall, who attempts an effort at goal. It's a really good passage of play. 2-on-1 in favour of Germany. Gives their defence a little bit of respite.
Nah, the first ball wasn't quite on the money, was it? Advantage played. Clearance from Galloway. Olek was out the box there. Got away with a 2-on-1. And Roman drives McClelland up the court. McClelland does well to almost turn Roman round.
McClelland with possession, just trying to bypass Marco Roman. Does brilliantly well Into Conor McCall, over to Ethan Galloway, unopposed. He just doesn't engage that quick enough. I often say how wingers need to stay in reverse to engage it, but Ethan Galloway just needs to drive head onto that.
It's the what ifs for Scotland. It has been a story of what ifs. Ethan Galloway just needs to drive. Just drive forwards and you score.
It's so unfortunate for him. Just caught in two minds how to engage and didn't react quick enough, but the warning signs are there and the success is there to be had if they're just that little bit more clinical in the final third. When he had that opportunity, I've got a decibel meter on my watch and it went well over 100 as he has a chance now into the path of Tyler McClelland, and now the ball's going to trickle from one end of the court to the other, inside the goal against the run of play. Germany take their lead and score their first goal of the competition. Incredible stuff here in Italy.
Wow, Ryan. Scotland should have taken the lead 2 minutes ago, and from practically the edge of his own box, EPFA Canon Anmis has got Germany's first ever goal at a major tournament. That's the issue when you play 4 out. If you do not cover the goal, there is no one back. Scotland have really shot themselves in the foot there massively. They'll be bitterly disappointed.
They really will, but they'll go back to those missed opportunities and chances as something that could have seen them very much in the ascendancy. And completely against the run of play, Germany announced themselves at the EPFA Nations Cup, and that's really nice. Ludwig Leinweber, you can see what he was trying to do. It was unorthodox, but had he connected, the effort would have almost certainly gone goal bound.
Much better from Germany. They're connecting well. They're playing good passes. Free kick for Scotland, who I'm pretty certain will be sitting there going, how are we behind? Well, we could tell them how they're behind. They need to find the clinical edge. Steer needs Galloway to move out of the way, and he does.
Struggles though, because Daniel Oleg's being very clever and cute there in preventing Galloway from getting through. He knows exactly what he's doing. And it's effective. Ball ricochets high in the air there, allowed to settle. That's something we've seen across this competition. Referees not blowing their whistle immediately if and when the ball rises off the court floor, as Marco Roman pushes it into Ludwig Leinweber, who's going to attempt an effort over. Right stuff from Germany. They're quietly going about their business, they're absorbing pressure, and they're looking to take their opportunities when they can.
Yeah, their counter-attacks look very good, do Germany's. And Anmis is able to keep that ball in. Kick in for Scotland, 1 minute left in this first half, well, normal time.
We'll of course go to at least 21 to factor in that water break as Tyler McClelland looks to split the lines. F.A. Canon and Anmis, the goal scorer, just doing enough to restrict it.
Kieran Steer has McCall on the far wing, tries to find McCall, flick round the corner, can Galloway keep hitting? Yes he can.
Slightly unaware to the ball's placement, and the contact between Onanmis and Galloway allowed probably would have deemed Galloway the aggressor, but many could say the opposite. As play continues quickly, Kieran Steer has to drop off. He does so in just enough time. And it's Scotland who escape with the free kick. We've just ticked over into additional time. Can Scotland find an answer before the break? Kieran Steer into the 180 of Galloway. Over to Conor McCall. That is a fantastic finish from Scotland. That was brilliant.
Brilliant goal for Scotland. That is what they've been working on, and it is the top goal scorer in the league, the top goal scorer at the EPFA Cup for Scotland, who gets the goal, their first at a major tournament. Brilliant ball from Ethan Galloway. Oleg didn't get there. It's a sucker punch for Germany just before half time, although Anand misses through here.
Yeah, they're looking to regain that 1 goal advantage. This has been an excellent game.
That was really well worked there. Sorry, Ryan. Really well worked between Lion Weber and Anand, from bumpering it to each other.
I was going to say both can now go home knowing they have scored. That would have lingered away at them had that not been the case. Over into FA Can Onanmis. Daniel Oleg pressing high, 2-on-1 in favour of Scotland.
Would like to have seen the referee play advantage there, which they have done throughout this tournament for the most part.
Rollman. Once again, I really want to commend the atmosphere as Daniel Oleg needs to stay rooted there as Ethan Galloway has a clear sight of goal. Can't make Marco Roman pay. Now 22 minutes in, Germany desperately trying to ensure it goes into the break level. Tyler McClellan trying to make sure that's not the case. It just comes off the number 9. What a finish of the first half. It was Scotland who drew level right at the end through Conor McCall, finishing off an unbelievable set-piece routine. Up until then, it looked like Germany would take their slender lead into the interval. Onanmis capitalising on Scotland's 4-out system. It has been fiery, it has been brilliant. We'll be back very shortly for the second half. And we are back underway here in Lignano Sabbiadoro, and it's going to be an early chance for FA Can Onanmis. The score finally poised at 1-1. Germany struck first through FA Can Onanmis, a brilliant effort from his own half, but Scotland responded late with Conor McCall finishing off a superb set-piece routine. Will it be more of the same? It was fiery, it was closely contested, and these two are so similarly matched, and that's showing on the court. Just to go through the squads in their full, unchanged, that finished the first half. Daniel Olek, Marco Roman, FA Can Onanmis, and Ludwig Leinweber for Scotland. Tyler McClellan, Kieran Steer, Ethan Galloway, and Conor McCall. This is going to be a really good opportunity for Marco Roman.
I think we're going to see this rolled into the path of Onanmis for a 180, perhaps, or will it go down to Leinweber?
No, I think he's just trying to disguise his intention. It does, but Kieran Steer very alert to that opportunity. The ball just trapped well by the German captain, who finds FA Can Onanmis, engages it in the 180. That's really unlucky. Well-worked opportunity, and once again, something you would say is a clear goal-scoring opportunity.
Onanmis connects with that 180. Ludwig Leinweber is tapping that into the back post with the front bumper.
He could have gone for goal himself as well. There was two options there.
Massively.
Had he connected with it, I think either could have materialised as Marco Roman into Tyler McClellan. So Ethan Galloway has an opportunity to break. Be interesting to see if Ryan Alexander looks to his substitute at some point. Andrew Shaw, Kean Speed, Kieran Burns and Robbie Martin all waiting to come on. That being said, Robbie Martin is actually in his day chair, not his strike force, so he will not feature. And just the three substitutes on the bench for Germany. No Luis Mittag, just Acacio Cossa, Thiers Otterstetter and Feli Fischer.
Great atmosphere being created by both sets of fans. Steer gets to McClellan from bumper, not enough pace on it. Comes to McClellan, and McCall just reverts too much away from it.
Oh, I like that from Conor McCall. He took his time just to get that position right so he could engage it with real accuracy, but in doing so it gave the German defence more than enough time to set, so even if it connected cleanly it would have met a German wall. But it's better. The involvement of those high and wide attacking wingers needs to be proficient, and that was a really strange setup there from Scotland. The ball could have easily rolled from one end of the court all the way to the other. A rare miscommunication between Tyler McClellan and Kieran Steer isn't punished as it splits through the court. Daniel Olek has to make a desperate clearance, otherwise Conor McCall would have been set away.
McClellan, McCall, McClellan, saved by Roman. 2-on-1 given between Roman and Onanmis. I like that. I don't think I've seen enough of those given when a winger goes into the corner and the defender on the line doesn't move. This is a great opportunity for Scotland.
This really is. We saw them in the first half capitalise from a much deeper set piece, free kick. Kieran Steer disappointing. Not quite sure what his intention was there. This is right below us. And it certainly wasn't Ethan Galloway. Would never have had the accuracy or power to find its way over to Conor McCall. Whether he was trying to play off the German defence, I'm not overly sure. As Ludwig Leinweber beautifully picks out FA Can Onanmis, who returns the favour. Cut out by Tyler McClellan. Needed 20-30% more power if it was to reach the alternate winger.
Nice from Germany again on the counter-attack. They've been much better in this game than they have been all tournament.
Roman, 180, lovely bit of distribution, and that ricochets towards the German goal. Took a deflection, so Daniel Olek had to readjust to ensure that wasn't the goal that sees Scotland go 1 up, or 2-1 up. There's Galloway now. Lets that roll out. Just a chance to reset. Ethan Galloway to take. There's no real options on because Conor McCall is behind Daniel Olek. There is a gap in that defence, but it needs far more power than that if it's to be exploited. And now Ludwig Leinweber trying to force his way up the court, dispossessed by Tyler McClelland.
Marco Roman brings it forward.
He has options in support, but nothing that can generate the power or space for Marco Roman to get his distribution going as Tyler McClelland tries to do likewise for the Scots. It's good work from FA Canaanamis just to get in front of Tyler McClelland there. Actually brilliant work.
The ball from McClelland has to go first time. Took the touch, invited the pressure and gave away the free kick. He was set, then moved, wasn't set. Free kick for Germany.
Intercepted, and now Ethan Galloway can take it in his stride very nicely, staying in reverse connection. It needed a clearance from Marco Roman, but that's much better from Ethan Galloway. It's exactly what he needs to do on those wide wings. Looks as Ludwig Leinweber is just going to be given a warning. He's reversing into Kieran Steer on the edge of the box.
Card here for both Steer and Leinweber. Too much off the ball contact for the referee's liking.
Galloway into Tyler McClelland. Cut out by Ludwig Leinweber. He needed to do it. Scotland slowly growing into this half. Remember that opener from Germany very much against the run of play.
Steer. Galloway through the gap. Conor McCall surely did that cross the line.
Yes, it absolutely did. It absolutely crossed the line, and that's a right decision from the referee. There's some confusion amongst the ranks, but we have got a fantastic advantage and viewpoint above the goal. And without question, that cross, Conor McCall with his brace, Scotland a goal up.
Same combination. Galloway across the box. McCall finishes it. Fortunate probably for Marco Roman that it did actually go in because he was behind the line and he's not the goalkeeper. Conor McCall started the last 2 games. He scored 2 in this one. Scotland have a lead.
I mean, there'll always be hypotheticals, but it does beg the question why that decision wasn't made sooner as to Conor McCall's involvement. Ever since any time he's been involved, he's been the bright spark in attack. He was the top goal scorer at the qualification event, which sure Scotland booked their spot here. And he's added a brace to his name at a European Championships.
Kieran Steer's a lucky boy. Missed that front bumper clearance and there was no one at the back post to tap it into the open net. This game is far from done.
Daniel Olek into the box, cool, calm and collected from Tyler McClelland, who just angles the chair out and picks it off. It's going to be cut out, surely a 2-on-1 in Scotland's favour.
McClelland battling with a nan miss.
Good work from Kieran Steer there because he has to be careful as well. He has got a yellow card and that could have very easily been contact with Ludwig Leinweber.
Galloway nearly found the gap again.
Cut out by Lineweber. Nice pass. Daniel Olek not comfortable enough to allow that to roll over the line. I don't think it was going goal bound, but would have probably hit the post on its way out. So you have to be sure. I think the ball left play there as well. So McClellan, beautifully switched ball as Ethan Galloway connects perfectly with it. And it just fragments in the box of Germany. This is brilliant football from Scotland.
Yeah, Scotland have turned it on now, haven't they? They've got the bit between their teeth. They're ending this tournament on a high. It was Germany who went 1-0 up. Scotland have turned it around. See here, McCall. That ball, yes, clearly over the line. Roman couldn't quite get back in time.
Yeah, it's hard to see from that angle, that one particularly, but definitely the right call.
I think we're going to see a change of goalkeeper for Scotland. Andrew Shaw looks like he's getting ready to come on.
Yeah, they started the competition with Andrew Shaw as their goalkeeper. They're looking to revert back to that now. Now it's just interesting to see what he does with the likes of Tyler McClelland and Kieran Steer. I think due to classification, one of those will have to come off. As the noise continues here. .89 decibels to be precise, Greg.
Scotland, that Red Fox drama is doing wonders this week. It's Kieran Steer who comes off. Tyler McClellan stays in the middle. I think I like that. I think I want to see Tyler McClellan.
Yeah, we said in that game against Italy, he was a really bright presence, dictating the flow, and even as the designated goalkeeper in this one, he's had that tendency to be a little bit more advanced than Kieran Steer, who, by the way, has had his best game of the competition so far. As McClellan lines up a shot, that's dangerous, and Conor McCall a second or two away from reacting, or he could have easily had his hat-trick.
Possibly could have let that go as well for a corner rather than a goal kick. Of course, the temptation's there. When you're on a hat-trick, you see the ball flashing before you. You want to see if you can get on the end of it. McClellan wins that kick in. Olek. Linebacker takes a touch. Does well just to snake his chair. Fires his 180 but straight to McClellan. Galloway, it's a great ball from McClellan.
His distribution this game has been sensational.
I knew he had this in his locker. I've played up north in Scotland. I've seen them play. He really is an exciting player.
Just trying to knock it off Ludwig Lineweber. No Scotland, no party. Rings out Galloway into McClelland. It makes it its way back to the captain, who's had brilliant 180 distribution in this game. It's been a right pain for the German defence to deal with, and it all comes from staying in reverse.
You just wonder what could have been for Scotland if they'd have played like this throughout the tournament, or what could have been for the tournament. Maybe they would have spoiled or upset the results.
We've already mentioned how fine the margins were against the likes of Italy and Ireland. Denmark as well, most of which were settled by just a single goal. It's a cruel lesson as to how competitive these European Championships are, but they will be buoyed by the performance here and their defensive stability as a whole. It's just that goal creation that's let them down, but they've put that wrong right. Certainly in the 35 minutes we've played in this 9th place playoff. McClelland down to Ludwig Lineweber. Just snatched that there. Could have been a little bit cuter, as we're going to see a German substitute, a player that I've liked if and when he's featured, Tej Otterstetter. He comes on for FA Can and Nanmis.
Yeah, Otterstetter's really impressed me as well. Whenever he's played, been able to play the right flicks and getting in the right positions. Galloway met by Rollman.
Yeah, nice from McClelland. Galloway not positioned initially, but he's going to get another attempt. Conor McCall will do well to angle his chair, and that is a brilliant save from Daniel Oleg. That was Conor McCall's hat-trick, and it has been prevented by the German number 55.
He was just reaching for it, wasn't he, with the front of his bumper there, trying to wrap his chair round. Brilliantly well-worked save. McClelland.
No real options in support, certainly that Ethan Galloway can see. So has to work the dribble a little bit. Potential 2-on-1 that from Germany. A little bit of naivety. Also good positioning of the Scotland players, because they'd almost put up a wall. So even if Ludwig Leinweber wanted to vacate the space, I don't think he could have.
Now straight out Leinweber though. Tries to cut inside McClelland. Can McClelland keep this in? Yes, he can. Ricochets last off a Rollman and will be kicking for Scotland, which McClelland takes quickly.
Andrew Shaw just getting up to the pace, does well. Just not quick enough in reacting. That's unlucky for him. It was very close.
McClelland's got to stay out of there and let Andrew Shaw come and take that for me. McClelland then recovers around the back and Shaw can play his first pivot for a little bit.
Nice distribution once again from Tyler McClelland. It has no real purpose, but it does a good role in relieving pressure on the defence. Worth noting that if Germany do go on to find an equaliser, we will contest extra time and penalties to separate them in the final rankings. Daniel Oleg cleared by Tyler McClelland. One thing that I will note, which is maybe unfair, Tyler McClelland is far better at distributing out to his left as opposed to his right. If and when he's tried to distribute to Conor McCall, it has fragmented. It may be a coincidence, but there's been a succession of attempts in whereby he has tried to connect and it just hasn't come off, as Tej Otterstetter nearly had an effort there.
It's a great flick by Otterstetter.
Tyler McClelland.
Should have said Leinweber with the great flick there. Otterstetter couldn't quite got the end of it.
Daniel Oleg into Ludwig Leinweber, cleared once again by Tyler McClelland, and that's unlucky from Otterstetter. Ethan Galloway's come short to receive. Conor McCall down the line, who is the option for Scotland number 9, who's flicked it back into his path. He's going to have to try and generate some pace and power. I'd like to see McCall engage in almost a 360 there.
He went for it.
He did, and that's why I question the hesitation. We are in the final minute. Germany, barring a late rally, will finish 10th in this 10-team combination. A stark reminder just how competitive the European continent is. That's such nice combination play, but comes with a little bit of naivety as Germany are able to split Scotland open momentarily out for a goal kick. That's a let-off there. if Germany possessed a little bit more quality, they would have punished them.
As we enter any additional time, we'll have the 1 minute for the water break. No one likes to finish last. Someone has to, and it looks like it's going to be Germany.
Galloway into Marco Roman, goes as far as Ludwig Leinweber, just can't get the snap on the ball to send it towards Andrew Shaw in that Scotland goal.
Got to say, the Germany fans have been, and the Scotland fans, but Germany fans, considering their potential, they're about to lose all of their games. They've clearly enjoyed themselves. You just want to hope that they take some lessons and experience. Leinweber's been booked already. Fortunate maybe not to get a second yellow card there. McClellan just needs his feet adjusting.
Of course, any cards don't have any ramifications in the rest of this competition, but should anyone get sent off, that will carry over to a next qualifying event, as Ethan Galloway trying to capitalise at that back post. Could have very easily made it 3-1. A professional performance, you'd say, from Scotland. They had to come from behind and do it the hard way, but two bits of quality and combinations as McClellan just pulling the strings in the centre. He has been excellent.
He really has. As the noise ramps up as we approach full time, which will be any second now, you'd think. That ball's going to have to play. That's sloppy from McClellan. I don't know if it's going to cost his side.
Down to McClellan. And it's Scotland who take 9th place with a 2-1 victory thanks to a Connor McCall brace. His second goal, a composed finish with a beautiful Ethan Galloway assist. It proved decisive, the best combination Scotland have put together all tournament in terms of both their lineup and execution in attacking play. Germany had their moment, including that stunning opener from FA Can Onanamis, but once Scotland settled, they looked the more cohesive side. Tyler McClellan, the absolute standout, driving them forward and setting the tempo in what was a much improved performance. A close contest full of energy and intensity, but in the end Scotland showed just enough quality to edge it and avoid finishing bottom. Thank you to all that have tuned in. Myself and Greg will be back tomorrow for another day as we conclude the 2025 EPFA Nations Cup.
Okay, here we are with Mr. Thies Ottenstetter. Is that how you pronounce your name?
Yes.
Yes, great. Another great fight for you guys until the end. How do you feel about the match?
I honestly feel good. It was a nice tournament, I think, for me personally. Yeah, the atmosphere, yeah.
Sounds great to hear, because that's the most important thing. You guys came here, you played until the end. We had fun watching you, so I'm really happy that you take it this way. It's very inspiring. How was the match with Scotland?
Yeah, it was a hard match. Everybody fight until the last minute,
Yes.
and yeah.
Absolutely. We all enjoyed the match, also because I think both teams were able to play better and better.
And
Through-
score goals.
Yes, absolutely. You scored as well, so it must feel amazing. And I believe your game, you start to pass more, and compared to also other matches, the team improved and could show their potential more and more.
Yeah.
Great. So, thanks so much for being here, and yeah, I think we still don't have the other participant. Right. So, are you looking forward next tournament?
Yes.
Yes. Cool. We cannot wait to have Team Germany again in the next tournament. I wish you best of luck
Thank you.
and take a good rest because it was a long one.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Vielen Dank. Okay.
Tschüss.
Tschüss. All right. Thanks so much to Mr. Thies Ottenstetter, young player from Team Germany. And now, please welcome our man, Ethan. Let's place the mic. Here we go.
Yep.
Ethan, what a match. Another fierce fight. That was intense. You guys battled all the way. And you secured the victory. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a tough game. Obviously, the tournament didn't quite go how we hoped it would, but definitely a lot of learning. Obviously, we're still developing, and I think we'll take the performances as real encouragement, push on, and hopefully keep building on what's ended up to be quite a strong tournament.
Yes, absolutely. And as I was saying to the teammate from Germany, you guys played a beautiful match, I believe.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that.
It was fun to play. It was fun to play. And a lot of passing, both teams try to move the ball, and that's what you want to showcase for the sport. So
Absolutely.
yeah, a lot of fun.
You guys learned and performed more and more, better and better through the games. It was really fun.
Yeah, definitely.
So thanks so much and congratulations for the victory.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks again to Mr. Galloway, and yeah, the night is done. The first final is finished. I will see you tomorrow for the other finals. Thank you.